In this episode of Essential Wholeness podcast, we are going to discuss the difference between deep, real healing and just symptomatic healing. We are going also to bust some myths that is going around into the allopathic community, and we are going to discover point by point how you can understand if a program is really deep healing you. Let's get down to business. Welcome, Guardians of Balance wannabe, to Essential Wholeness podcast. Let's dive deep with me, Eduardo, your guardian guide into deep healing, spiritually, mentally, and physically, with the most powerful, non-toxic solutions for this new, very toxic world. Natural medicine alone falls short in a world that is so depleted and toxic. Hence, we all need to find non-toxic solutions to clean up our physical bodies and then use it together with mental and spiritual healing. In this channel, we will discuss together how to do all these things, and we will be interviewing many experts around the world. And welcome everybody to this brand new podcast episode, Essential Wholeness. I am having so fun, parroting these speakers' voices. Okay, so let's get back to us. I wanted to make a special, special episode because I would like to talk about an important topic, really important topic actually. So that is how I already have spoken about this topic in my Italian podcast. The topic is, how do you know if you are actually healing? What is the process of healing? How can you know if you have just eased down your symptoms, but you are actually not healing? So it is a big and huge difference, okay? And many people think that they are experts on this topic because they know something about the so-called detox reactions, but actually it's not that easy, okay? So gladly I will try to shed some light on the topic today. Okay, let's get down to it. So first things first, you can let's bust a myth, an allopathic medicine myth, that is, if you don't have symptoms you are healthy. That is actually not true at all. I am preparing a course for the people that are interested in my programs but cannot afford them. So for people in budget, and this would be a course that you can use, and you can go just with the course, I would say at least for 1 year. After 1 year you should, in my humble opinion, or work with someone, that can be me or can be some others, because you want to implement, and it's a thing that you will feel deep down inside, some kind of spiritual healing. Okay, so after 1 year of physical healing, I actually am not the kind of holistic practitioner that will begin right away with meditation, etc., because actually these things are not for people that have serious problems. I mean, of course, meditation, everybody can do that, but it will be an upward path, very harsh. Okay, not. It's very, very much more interesting and it makes sense. It makes much more sense if you start to less down your stress levels, your body stress levels. You try to first not completely heal, because it's impossible in 1 year, of course, but to ramp up to normalize a bit the hormonal situation, the enzyme production situation, the metabolism, etc., so that your meditation will be far smoother. And this is very pivotal and important, because of course you can also do some meditation while you are healed, but it will not be that serious path, unless you are very there are some people that are spiritual in itself, per se. But they are kind of rare. There are people that will say, oh wow, this illness will be a great opportunity for me to develop meditation and really inquire the nature of pain and suffering. Okay, that is like Buddha. And many Buddhist people are doing this, but in my opinion are not doing it wholeheartedly. They are just doing it because they said that they heard that it's good to be free of pain. It's not the starting point of Buddha. Okay, so this myth of allopathy. So for all the others that do not have special, are not so spiritual oriented, this myth is just a myth. Okay, so there is a great book that is called Man the Unknown. It is by Dr. Alexis Carrel. It's written Carrell. And in this book, this good doctor differentiates between the so-called artificial health and the so-called natural health. So the artificial health is the health that is maintained by the allopathic standard medicine, etc., that is really low vitality health, really low symptoms. So it is the main characteristic that is, deemed, this kind of health is labeled as health, but it's not real health, just because you have no symptoms, actually. But actually you have, this is not really true that you don't have symptoms. Actually, you don't have the symptoms they say that are linked to some kind of dysfunctions, So if you have constant diarrhea, they will give you a drug that will stop the loose stool, and so you are healed. It's okay. This is their symptomatic. They have just a symptomatic viewpoint, on health. And in this kind of health, I am referring to this book, is linked. It is normal for a person that is in this kind of health to take 1 or 2 drugs every day for the rest of his life. And normally, this kind of health is characterized by low vitality, normally pale skin, difficulty in concentration, etc. So actually you have symptoms, but actually the point is that they say, the normal medical doctor, not everybody of course, but they say, these are just psychological symptoms. How many times have you heard about stories? And I heard about this often. Every time, because I speak with new people every day, or almost every day. Have you heard stories about people that were going to medical doctors, and medical doctors just say to them, it's just in your head, And actually, years later, they actually discovered that gut dysbiosis it's a thing, that ADHD and ADD and every kind of autism are actually a thing, that it's linked to leaky gut, so to gut dysbiosis and a damage to the intestinal walls. But for decades they have just said, ADHD, it's something in your head, it's not a real illness. So actually, the so-called artificial health is characterized by a huge range of symptoms, but so vague, so not measurable, because they are interested only in what is diagnosable, you know. So these are not diagnosable. I mean, there is not a blood work that you can do for measuring your autism. Okay, so another characteristic is that you need to often go to do exams. So you need to rely on a medical doctor that will tell you if you're healthy or not. Okay, so the artificial health, on the contrary, you are vibrant and full of life. You don't take drugs. Personally, sorry, I don't take drugs ever, even if for acute situations, unless very dangerous, like if I have the fever to 42 Celsius degree, you know, that can begin to be fatal. Okay, so I will begin to take some drugs, but apart from that, I don't take drugs. But okay, you don't need to go like me, that I am, you know, a hardcore. But what Dr. Carroll is saying, that you don't need to take drugs every day for the rest of your life. Okay, so this is very important. And you don't need medical exams. You are just diagnosing yourself. Like, I feel good. But the most important thing is that you will be full of symptoms. Wow. Yeah, so this is not just a thing that Dr. Alexis Carroll used to say. Also, the founder of Mineral Balancing, Paul Eck, used to say, and I used to say that, and also the founder of macrobiotics, and a science that is born in Japan. I mean, I think that you know the science, the macrobiotics. I don't remember the name actually of the founder of the science, but yeah, I mean, it's very widespread, and the founder used to say, in such toxic world, you need to get sick often, and this is the point. So if you are not getting ill since, I don't know, 1 year, not a cold, not a flu, not an headache, well, guess what? Your immune system it's not super powered immune system. It's not working. So you are actually building up toxins that can be pathogens, like viruses, or that can be real toxins that are more dangerous, and they are building up in your system, they are clogging up your system, and your body cannot deal with it. So actually, because your body does not have enough nutrients and resources to flare up inflammation, because inflammation, it's a good thing. It's not the culprit. So actually, the worst kind of medical doctors are not even considering inflammation. Some better medical doctors than the average are pointing out that inflammation is the quote-unquote culprit of many things, but actually no, inflammation, it's not the culprit, and it's a thing that it is studied even in the science, you know, in the faculty of medicine of the world. I don't know why they just don't get this. Actually, because I think that they don't consider at all the toxins. For them, toxic metals are not, I would say, non-existent, non-relevant. I'm not saying for everybody, of course, but for the majority of them. And to be fair, if they were considering the toxins in the faculties, they would not give drugs so freely, because they are full of toxins. And I got a friend, she's working in the drug vigilance since 2 years, I think. And 2 years ago, they said me that this activity, the vigilance on the side effects of drugs, so she goes around to people that are taking drugs every day or so, and she's asking about side effects, not just precise and concise, but even, you know, I'm feeling mental fog, etc., you know. And she said to me that so 2 years ago, she said to me that until 5 years ago, so not, right now it's 7 years ago, drugs vigilance were quite non-existent. I mean, we are speaking about a medicine that is going on till the beginning of the last century, but let's say after the Second World War, and they began to do it just 7 years ago. I mean, it's crazy, okay? It's crazy. Okay, and I am deeply, I think, my opinion is that still they are need to make very, very step ahead. I mean, the side effects are much more broad. So, okay, I would say that inflammation is not the real culprit, it's just the middleman. Okay, it's just the middleman. So actually, where your body is such inflamed, such toxic, you need inflammation, because inflammation will just help your body to dump out the toxins. The point is that you need not chronic inflammation, but limited flare-ups. So this is what we are trying to do with the deep healing program. So the so-called Alzheimer reactions or detox reactions can be of various kind, but I would say that many of them are not so useful. Okay, so there are some programs that will not will just give you some flare up, help you to detox something. They can be some quite painful. I mean, it is a science to make this detox reaction to be bearable. Okay, you don't want too much of that, and you need to ease down everything when you are doing that. Okay, from physical exercise to the program in itself. I use supplementation, diet, and detox programs. Okay, so how can you distinguish between so first things first. Okay, first point, a deep healing program will give you detox reactions. Okay, so you will experience symptoms, and these symptoms often, if the detox is serious and it's not just a worsening of your status, because some detox programs can worsen your status. Actually, the programs that, for example, are just giving you a bunch of bacteria but not a bunch of nutrients, for example, will just worsen, because the bacteria can, of course, help you to detox, but they are also putting your body under a lot of stress. Okay, so and to cope with stress, you need nutrients, and a great amount of nutrients. So, as I said, it is a science. So normally you can distinguish between a good detox and a bad detox, because a good detox will give you the idea, and it is a thing that you will feel deep down inside, that you are not getting a new cold, a new flu, but you are resolving some cold or some flu that you have been, I would say, gathering in your body, not resolving in the past because you did not have the resources to do that. And this is, a very important thing, a very important distinction. I have spoken about this, about the oh no, I didn't spoke. I think that I didn't spoke about this. I didn't speak about this in my English podcast. In this podcast, I've spoken about this in my Italian podcast. Okay, I will make an episode. But the point is that when you have chronic situations that your body cannot cope with, your body will tend to make them. You will not feel symptoms unless vague as others, as we already said in this episode, mental fog, tiredness, difficulty in concentration, lack of emotionality, like you are in some kind of apathy. These are just symptoms of our body that is clogged up, that is full of pathogens that are not resolved, are just the body actually, when cannot resolve a situation, actually creates fences around the situation that can be, like I said, or biological toxins or actual artificial toxins that are the real culprits, actually. You will not feel that symptoms, but when your body will have the means and the nutrients to resolve those situations once and for good, the body will flare up, okay, those situations, and it will give you the idea that you are resolving something. You're like, oh wow, I feel that this is my throat ache that I had 1 year ago. In fact, from that moment, I did not feel well in my head, and now that I am refilling this throat ache, I'm also resolving the problem in my head. That can be, for example, concentration or mental fog, because in your throat there is the thyroid, which is very much linked to the production of energy and hormones in general. So actually, you will feel the symptoms not when you were feeling down, but after a period and you were feeling up, very much happy, very much healthy. Then your body will give you some symptoms that will be quite quick. Normally they last 1 day, but can last 2-3 days. Sometimes I have heard about people that had detox reactions that last a week. So actually there are bad programs that will give you detox reactions that will last 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, this is a sign that it's not really a good program for you. Okay, when you resolve this, you will feel much more in tune with yourself. Okay, so you will also experience all these illnesses. So when I'm saying you need to get healed often, I'm not saying that you will have to suffer. Okay, you will have a bunch of energy to deal with this. Okay, so and there is another aspect, the psychological aspect, which is called retracing in mineral balancing science. Actually, you will begin to feel some old psychological symptoms, like you will leave some traumas, like some old memories, and you will resolve it for good. Retracing can be also seen as, retracing some old infections, old inflammations, and resolving them, but also psychologically speaking. So this is really the thing. So, okay, when you have no symptoms, you may be low on vitality. So the key point is what Hans Lee, one of the mentor of Paul Eck, used to call adaptive energy. Okay, it's not the symptoms, the point. A good deep healing program will give you much more adaptive energy. That is the energy to heal, the energy to be focused, the energy to be stable in your emotions and feel them, actually, because you cannot be stable in your emotions if you're not feeling them in the first place. And also I would give you some spiritual perspective on life. Okay, normally when people is just a materialist, just believing in the matter, in the solid matter, the problem is just that the body does not have enough nutrients to feel the connection. Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you, Guardians of Balance wannabe, for listening to this episode. Begin to heal today for free by joining my Telegram public channel, Essential Wholeness, which you will find the link in the description, and grabbing your free PDF with the instructions for one of the most powerful detox procedure I use in my practice. May we all as a planet find true healing now.